Hi there, I'm Juliana Carroll, and this is my sister and partner in Coffee and Tech, Lisa Jackson. Together, we are your hosts here at the Coffee Tech Talk Show, exploring anything and everything to do with work orchestration and automation.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another session of Coffee Tech Talk. We're so excited to be here. It's 2022, it's March, and we're ready for the spring. We have a wonderful guest today. But as always, I am here with my sister, Juliana Carroll. Say hello, Juliana.
Hi, everyone.
And before we get started with our guests, I want to make sure that I tell everyone to please don't forget to follow us across our social media. And that is at Coffee Tech Talk on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And make sure that you check out our website, coffeetechtalk.com. So today we have a wonderful guest by the name of Nathan Atkins. Hello, Nathan.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
We're going to jump right in, right? Nathan and I have known each other on and off around the city for a handful of years. We see each other, and finally we got together, and here we are today, and we have a lot of questions for you. I want to know a lot about you. I think the viewers want to know about you. So why don't you start by telling everyone about yourself, your background. What do you do?
Well, I'm here today because I was fortunate enough to get you to agree to let me on this cool platform. So I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you so much. So, I'm here because I'm out making the rounds for a variety of reasons. I've been in Vegas for the last 9 years. I came to Vegas as an entrepreneur. So I came here and brought the very first Orange Theory Fitness here to Las Vegas. So the one that's over on West Sahara and Fort Apache, for those that live here, that's the first one that came here. So if you're over at that one, you're at the first one. There was a wonderful family that also, came right behind me, and they said, hey, we're really looking to do this thing big, and we want to control them all. And I said, well, hey, great, make me an offer. They made me a fabulous offer, gave them my license. And I went down to Florida because at the time, my missus, she wasn't here. While I was in Florida, I was fortunate enough to receive a phone call, and CenturyLink, which is now Lumen, called me up and said, hey, we see your background in tech. We see, you've managed government and municipal contracts, finding people in that space is difficult. For Vegas, we can offer you a pretty good, deal. And I said, great, I'll be home in about, 5-6 weeks if it's still available. And it was, and, I spent some time over there, about 6.5 years, over at CenturyLink, getting back into technology. And so that's my background. I started in 99. So, to rewind the tape all the way back, I spent 8 years in the military, Desert Shield, Desert Storm combat veteran. I came out, kind of kicked around, tried to be an entrepreneur. Didn't work out as well as I wanted. Went to school, got a degree. Because I had a job, and they were like, oh, well, if you had a degree, we could get you into that role, but you don't have that. Oh, if you had so I says, well, we're going to fix this, right? And so I got a degree, and then I got another degree. And so, I made it so people could stop telling me no. But, I landed. So back in 99, I looked at pharmaceutical, software, and technology, voice, data, and internet. And I landed at a company called Jerome, which quickly became MCI. I'm not ready for the big leagues. I said, well, I'm just new to outside sales. So you sure you want me? And says, yeah. The guy said, you're getting your MBA. He's looking for somebody who understands business. It's less about sales and more about business. And that was the best job of my life. Great guy. We're still good friends today. Brought me in the industry, saw something in me, sat me behind an engineer, gave me a big old sonnet book and told me, read up and listen to your engineer and you'll go far. And I read up, I listened to my engineer, and to this day, I'm still in technology. I work for a company called Windstream. So technology has been really good to me, been good for me, and I've really enjoyed it. I've watched it grow. I liken it a lot to the technology of flat screen TVs, where those TVs just keep getting better and sharper and crisper and cheaper and bigger. But in the general space, I've watched the voice, data, internet, you just become a commodity, right? We're on a Zoom call. We're all in different places. We're all on video. People will be able to see this. They'll be able to share this via social media. I mean, the industry has moved rapidly, and it's actually a really good thing. But look where it's taken us, and look what it's done for businesses, right? Small businesses can operate like medium and large businesses. Never could do that before, and that's all through technology. People are using, their devices, and they're using over-the-top providers, and they're giving themselves the presence and the allure that used to take lots of money and lots of people to do. So it's really been a good thing that it's gotten more affordable, and it's gotten better, faster, and cheaper.
So let me ask you this. You were an entrepreneur. You went from school, military, entrepreneur, back to school and entrepreneurship and things like that. You said it didn't work out on the first time. What were some of the challenges that you had being an entrepreneur?
I think there's a confusion, and one of the things I think is the confusion is, work hard, and that's where the secret sauce really lies. And I think that's probably one of my first mistakes was, oh boy, I thought I was gonna, I rented the office space, and I bought the inventory, and I made the phone calls, and it was all just gonna work out. And it doesn't all just work out, right? Did I have the relationships? Did I have the network? Did I have the skills to even sell the services and products? And the answer to some of those things are no. But I had the tenacity. Showed up every day to my office. I got on those phones. I made those calls. I took those no's, because they say, hey, you got to get 100 no's to get a yes. Well, it probably took me 2,000 no's before I got the first yes.
So you started around similar era, I think, that we did. So
okay.
There was a lot of calling. There were dialing the phones and things like that. With technology, social media, website, Instagram, the birth of all of those avenues that we could actually make calling easier. Are you utilizing any of those services, and how do you feel as far as the difference between then and now with the new ways that you can make calls?
So I'll say this: it doesn't matter whether you're talking about the Fortune 100 or you're talking about some small startup, right? Everyone is embracing things like LinkedIn. I've read a lot of books. Cold calling is dead. I've seen a lot of stuff about cold calling is dead. I think the confusion comes in is it's not dead. It's just changed.
Right.
I send you a LinkedIn request. You don't really know me, so you don't really want to.
It's a different kind of cold calling.
Yeah, it's just different, right? I send you a Facebook request because, as much as we say Facebook is personal, people are doing a lot of business over Facebook, and not just Facebook business. They're using their personal Facebook page to connect to people they know, share the word about their services and their products, get the information out about where they work in their career. It's a great tool, right? Like any tool, though, it comes down to your network.
I wanted to say about Facebook, you brought up a point. So I have a lot of connections on Facebook, on my personal Facebook. And what I notice is that when I post pictures and things that I do, fun stuff and this and that, I get so many engagements, right? But as soon as I post something about my work or something about, hey, support this, it's like, you get a maybe 15 to 20% engagement versus the pictures, all these things. Do you see the same thing? I mean, or is it just me?
Well, I'll say absolutely I do. So I find it extremely odd. I try to share a lot of information on my Facebook. So I share articles and, share different stuff. But surprisingly, for whatever reason, I chose Instagram as the medium in which to share pictures and so I like to smoke cigars, I like to drink wine, I like bourbons and brandies and travel and food and all those things. And so I created this site and got a logo and created a moniker for it, so it's not just my name. I had somebody once say to me, oh my God, I didn't realize that you're brothers in brunch, right? We've been connected for a long time, but you never put pictures of yourself. I'm like, well, it's not never, but it's very rare, because the site is about travel, food, booze, cigars. It's about that stuff. So that's the superstar for me. Other folks, they promote themselves. They are the brand. And I agree with you. People really engage when it's about you and your personal travels or your fun, that type of stuff. It's odd because even though it's social media, it's almost the same as if it's a cold call when you talk about your business or your endeavor.
Right.
Boy, they just kind of back up right away, like, oh. And then as soon as you post the picture of you and your kids skiing, they're like, I'm back. And, you know, you guys look great. You're having a great time. Wish I was there.
Right. And I'm like, where is everybody?
Yeah, but I do have a question though, right? So, but what about the influencers? There are a few people that somehow manage to become influencers, right? To mix their authenticity with, with commerce. Now, I wonder if we behave differently, if we become a little bit inauthentic when we're talking about our endeavors versus true personal enjoyment, right?
So here's what I find, right? Because I'm building a brand, and it's when I post things that are like during an event that I'm doing or something that I'm doing authentically, and I have a product, I'm like, oh, and I use this. People don't like to be sold, right?
Right.
They don't like to be sold. I mean, if you're like trying to push product, a lot of times it will not work and it doesn't come across as if it's authentic. But what I have noticed when I do it in a way where, I'm wearing the product and I'm in the middle of it, and I'm saying, oh, this is awesome, it tastes great, or this looks great, I love this. And I'm doing it in a way where I'm enjoying myself with my friends or whatever like that. I do get a lot of engagement that way, and they're like, oh, that's cool, that kind of a thing, But if you're saying just automatically, oh, buy this and go to www.this or go to this and that, it's absolutely, it's a fail. Major fail.
Put in the discount code and get 10% off. Tell them Lee sent you.
Exactly. And I see that so much, right? But it works sometimes, but I think a lot of it too is timing too, right? But I think definitely with Instagram, it's all about authenticity. You really do have to come across authentic, and that you really, really care about the product, and you're not just pushing it on people.
What's your next journey with Vegas?
So right now, I'm in the middle of a project. So health and wellness is clearly my thing, right? Because there was Orange Theory first. And, now fast forward 7, 8 years later, we purchased the licenses now, multiples this time, to open an IV vitamin therapy spa. So, here in Vegas, it has a strong reputation, and that reputation is called the hangover cure, right? You party hard. We get close to 5 million people who come here to party, play, and have a good time. And with that, sometimes they overindulge. And so if, you get IV vitamin, and IV vitamin obviously, works at the level differently than if you take a normal vitamin. So if you digest a vitamin, 20, 30% absorption rate. If you take it via IV, a lot of places are tout 100%. As we all know, nothing is ever 100%. That it's just a difficult thing to do. But it's 60 to 80%, been guaranteed, scientifically proven, right? So that's a big impact. So you're going to feel it immediately. And you're talking about things like zinc and magnesium and, vitamin C, vitamin B, you've got the Bs, 1s, 2s, 6s, 12s. Sometimes you can come and just get an injection and boost. And that's been a really big thing here, right? So it's been the hangover cure has been a big thing. And then some of the aesthetics players, they do major aesthetics things like the Botox, the Dysport, the Juvederm, all the fillers. I'm not too versed on most of that stuff, and even some of the lightweight non-surgical stuff. But they'll have like a B12 shot because people want to boost or pick me up. Maybe they'll do a Myers cocktail because we have quite a few people here in Vegas who are either vegan or very health conscious. And so, they look for natural remedies. Instead of getting a flu shot, they get their Myers cocktail to try to stave off the flu and have a more natural process for it. We found a company that is very health focused, and this company has about 17 to 19 different modalities. And so It's focused on lifestyle drips. And when I say lifestyle, we have something called the All-Star, and the All-Star is for people who want better athletic recovery. So if you're really into your fitness, and I'm not just talking about the typical people who are either going to the gym and the muscle guys, or the people who are trying to get their bodybuilding card, but everybody from you got Ragnar now, you've got Spartan Race, you've got people who like extreme things. The All Star is for people like that. It's either to prepare for, so you're getting your body all the vitamins and minerals that it needs for it, or afterwards, or both, right? So those would be more like lifestyles, right? Health would be more like some of our soother product, right? Our soother product is for people who suffer from things like migraines. So they're trying to calm an issue. We have a cancer protocol. We support cancer patients. So high dose vitamin C has been researched since the 70s and proven that when high dose vitamin C is administered when people are going through the chemo protocol, one, it helps chemotherapy work better, but it also reduces those nasty side effects that chemotherapy puts on the body. So it helps people manage that really horrible side effect that comes from chemo. And it also helps the chemo work better. So those are our health drips. And then, of course, we have boosters, right? People can come in and just get a B12 shot, or come in and get a magnesium or D3. D3 can only be done as a boost. There's some places that do it as a drip. Our doctor who set up this whole protocol for the franchise, talked about it in training and said, it's calcitrate or something like that, which is not a true D3, because true D3 can't be administered through IV. But the true D3, vitamin D3, which we all heard a lot about during COVID, right? People who were low on D3 were ones being impacted hardest by COVID. Vitamin D3 is a super important thing. We heard about it more than we've ever heard about it before. People can come in and get a booster shot for it. So, that's what we're in the middle of right now. We're in the middle of construction. I'm trying to get these sled dogs to run as fast as they possibly can, but they'll only run as fast as they will, or as fast as, county inspections will allow. And we're hoping to be ready by the end of March, no later than the midpoint of April. So we'll be ready for spring, and we'll be open and rocking and rolling. And also, unlike some of the providers here in town, we will offer a mobile component, but our focus is to create a spa-like atmosphere. That's the brand for this franchise. And it's a place where they can come and sit in a relaxing spa environment and get treatment and service, right? So that's what we're doing from a business front. And then from a personal front.
How many of those will you be opening? So there's going to be one. And for this year, are you opening more, or just the one?
So we've acquired 3 licenses.
Okay.
And I say it like that because I learned during my first endeavor with Orange Theory, when you own a license, that is an asset, right? That is a tangible asset. You can sell it. You can let other people partner in if they want to get in. You can do a lot of things with it, or you can keep it all to yourself and open up the second one, the third one. So we have 3 licenses. People are starting to figure out they need to maintain themselves from the beginning, versus trying to do massive repairs on the back end. So we're excited about it because we know that the market is there, and our focus is helping people.
But I know you're doing one more thing, right? So and I wanted to end it by also, as we end this conversation, you're doing a lot of things. You have a, can I say, a day job? You're an entrepreneur. And now you are running for
mayor of North Las Vegas. So I reside in North Las Vegas, and I decided that I had some strong opinions about politics, and instead of sitting in my house on my couch having those opinions, I decided to get up, get out, and engage. My message is one of live, work, and play. I believe that the city we live in, unfortunately, is not a place where we can play. Whenever we want to do things like going out to eat or going out to shop or doing a lot of the stuff that most of us in the Valley do, we travel. We leave North Las Vegas to spend our dollars, whether it's going to a home goods store like Home Goods or TJ Maxx, whether it's going to a nice restaurant out, although we're starting to get more restaurants here. So that's a good thing. When I become the mayor, one of the first things I'll focus on is the same thing Las Vegas focused on, right? When Las Vegas did a campaign that says what happens here stays here, and they branded it and worked it. It really changed the trajectory of the people that came. I know we've changed it to what happens here only happens here because it stays here. Made it a little too much. People got a little too crazy. But the truth is,
Yeah.
Vegas, needed to brand itself. And when it branded itself properly, it attracted a lot of tourism, a lot of business, and every city has to do that. Henderson has done it. They have the minor league teams, and they have the corporate office for the Raiders, and North Las Vegas has to do it as well. Every city has to brand themselves to attract.
How are you managing all of this? All the things that you're doing from an entrepreneur to another entrepreneur, and my sister is the same way, right? She has her day job, and we're doing Coffee Tech Talk, and I have a couple other things that I'm working on. It's like people are always asking me, how are you managing all this? And I say, I just don't sleep. So, and that's just how it is. How are you doing all of this?
Well, I agree with the don't sleep part. I don't get nearly as much sleep as I should. Exercise is one of them. I try to stay at least 3-4 times a week in the gym, and when I go in, I exert myself. It's kind of like that release valve. So that works for me. Everybody has their thing. I have some friends who are in this similar situation that they're juggling a lot of opportunities, and they're big readers, and so reading calms them, and that works for them. So everyone has a certain thing. And I think the biggest thing, I was talking with my mother about this, the biggest thing I realized is, and I'm 53. And so when I was in my 30s and I was going to climb the corporate ladder and I was going to be the big success, I was obsessed with not dropping a ball, right? If I was juggling all these balls, I couldn't let one fall, because if it fell, the world would stop spinning. And I couldn't fail, because failure just can't happen.
Yeah.
And I think what I learned is, man, I dropped a lot of those balls and nothing ever changed. The world kept going on. Nobody stopped doing anything. They just, and the other part of it was I just picked them back up and started juggling them again, right? And, sometimes things turned out the way I wanted. Sometimes they didn't. Sometimes it turned out better than I wanted. And I think when you start to realize that if you want to do something, give it a shot. When I told the first person that, when I shook their hand and looked them in the face and said, I'm running for office, that's what I'm doing. Now, whether I win or not, I can't control that.
If I was a resident of North Las Vegas, why would I vote for you? What are you going to do for me?
That's a great question. So the reason I would say you would vote for me is, one, I have the background and the experience. So the reason I've run for mayor is because I look at a city like a business, and the city has to run like a business. It's not about laws and policy, which we have political positions that's specifically what they're about. The city is a business, and I've run organizations the size of this city. I know how to empower people and put people in the right position. So I definitely have the experience. Secondly I'm all about making sure that the task and the job is done, right? I'm not here for me, I'm here for the city. So as the mayor, I would, and the first thing that was told to me was, well, as the mayor, you really don't run the city, right? You guys are like the board. When I say you guys, you and the city council, because the mayor has one vote and each city council member has a vote, and there's 5 people total. So that's how you get an odd number to make sure the votes work. So each city council member, 4 of them have a vote, and you have a vote, and you have to get people to be interested in what you want to present to vote in your direction. But the city manager and the city attorney really run the city. The city manager is like the CEO, and then it all goes down from there. And you hire the city manager and the city attorney. But I've personally believed that just because that's the case doesn't mean that you don't go down to the departments and find out, what are the people doing and how are they doing what they're doing? One of the things I think about is, when I talk about branding, is what's my economic development team doing? And how can I, as the mayor, get together with the economic development team and go, Juliana, you're the director for economic development. What are your challenges and hurdles? And as you're the mayor, the face of this city, right, the celebrity, so to speak, how can you use me to bring in the businesses we want? How can you use me to serve your purpose so that the department can work effectively? Because economic development is the biggest engine that's going to make all the other departments work well within a city, right? When you pick me as mayor, you're picking someone who's going to care about the people of this city, not just as a punchline, not just for a political career, because I really don't want one. You know, I'll do this and I'll be a mayor and then I'm moving on. Because I don't have any aspirations to be a lifelong politician. I'm anti that.
Yeah.
If you can't get it done in a term or two, then you know what? It's probably time to let somebody else go. And there should be succession planning. You should be looking for somebody to come behind you, and you should say, hey, here's what I've done, and let me hand over the map, and you know, I'll be here for advice to help you, you know, continue moving the city forward, because it's about the city and it's not about you.
How can everyone watching get a hold of you for your day job, your entrepreneurship, and being a mayor? Where can they find you and get a hold of you?
So when it comes to the day job, the easiest way is LinkedIn. I'm on there. My name is Nathan Atkins, right? And so I'm right on LinkedIn. This big old head is right up there. The picture's, you know, there. It's not hiding. Same thing on Facebook and social media. For the candidacy, you know, you go right to my website. It's my last name, Atkins. The number 4, NLV.com. So it's Atkins4NLV.com. And that's, you know, my candidate website, and my Facebook link is on there, and my Twitter link is on there as well. When it comes to the business, you know, we've got a big coming soon banner that sits over there. You go to thedripbar.com and hit a location button, you'll hit, you know, Las Vegas. But trust me, and I mean this with all sincerity, I will be coming to you. You will know I am open and we are running. You know, especially when we start throwing some of our, you know, our events. We're going to have, you know, some friends and family events and some private events. We'll be selling memberships pre-sale so people can get, you know, major discounts. That's actually coming out within about another week or so. Our biggest discounts, our first 25 members will be our founding members. They'll be able to get 25% off their memberships, and that's for the life of the membership. As long as they keep it active, they'll keep that price forever. The next 25 will be at 20%, and then it, you know, it's at the standard membership rate. And so those are the things we're doing.
Well, we really appreciate you being here. Thank you for all the great answers and the conversation. We'll make sure that we have all of your information posted with this video. And other than that, Juliana, do you have any other questions that you would like to ask Nathan?
No, I'm looking forward to all your ventures.
And
I want to say thank you.
Yes.
I really appreciate you having me on. I mean, it's a privilege to get an opportunity to be on any platform. And this is a great privilege. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And everyone, don't forget, a little bit of a housekeeping, to follow us at Coffee Tech Talk across all of our social media sites. And that's on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. And we also have this video on our YouTube at Coffee Tech Talk. Other than that, thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.